Okay,
Woohoo! Let's
I
do
am
this.
so excited to be here. Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Happy holidays. We have 5 more days,
Wow.
of 2020. Um, I wanted to bring Gina on. This is Gina Greblo. She's the creator of UpDo Extensions. Her and I met in 2018. That you guys, in 2018, at the beginning of 2018, I said to universe, let me be your vessel. I am so grateful for my career. I'm so grateful for where I was at. I felt so blessed. My dreams were beyond bigger than I had ever anticipated, in all areas of my life. And I just wanted to be a vessel, share my light, my joy, my journey of becoming a Hollywood hairstylist. And so as that was put out in the beginning of 2018, I started actually working with a coach and started like really working kind of what I'm teaching everybody here. Okay. And then lo and behold, universe brings me you. Okay, Gina. And Gina sent me she's the creator of UpDo Extensions, and she sent me a bunch of UpDo Extensions, which are, do you have some on you?
I do.
Yeah, thank you, because I meant to bring some up here. But they're so easy to attach. I use them on the voice. It's great for thin hair, which you have, and you, yes, started using and created it for yourself. Okay. And so she's got a whole bunch of tutorials and things on UpDo Extensions
that you helped me with.
But the thing is you guys, she's the one who asked me to do this student hair show and demonstrate her extensions. And you can talk about your dream big stuff. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Your dream big stuff. I didn't have the 5 F words named or anything at that point. Okay. This is now almost it's 2.5 years ago that we actually met. Right. So I didn't have any of that yet. And you're like, you can talk about your dream big stuff. It'll be so great. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And we did. And there I met people that changed my life, that put me into speaking at hair shows and cosmetology schools, Jim Cox and Penny Burns, and with Beautycast Network. And so there is where I manifested you to introduce me to these people that changed my life, which then in turn turned me on to Suzanne Mulroy, who's in our group. She helped me with she was my speaking coach. She was my writing coach. She's amazing. So I want to hear your side of your 5 F words, of how that kind of all flowed in. And I want to know what the last 90 days has been.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And I just love how our paths have crossed and how you came into my life. You've been such a gift to me. And I just so appreciate you so much.
You too.
Yeah, and I want to just congratulate all the people that are in this group, because it is like taking another step in life where you really put yourself in, you hold yourself accountable for living at a different level. And I just want to really congratulate everyone who's been here. And even if you haven't done, haven't been as involved, it's really a great way to start off the new year with new habits. And I just thank you so much for the platform.
Yeah. And I mean, yes, congratulations to everyone. And by the way, it's ongoing. Like your life and working and putting intention into your life and making these habits, it's all you making a decision. Mm-hmm. You doing it. I can sit here and talk and talk and talk and do all these lives, but if you actually don't do the work, things will still happen because you're putting intention, whether it's good or bad.
Absolutely. And we started at the busiest quarter of the year. know that if people were just dabbling in it, they will now be ready for the beginning of the year to move forward, especially just reviewing, you know, a lot of times after Christmas, we start thinking about what we want the next year to look like. And I'm really excited because, man, so many things happen in the last 90 days. But let me get back to how, I don't even know if you really know how I was led to you. And it started with fearless action. I got introduced to this organization called Beauty Bus, and you've been with me. You volunteer for Beauty Bus as well. It helps bring comfort and dignity to people who are terminally ill and their caregivers. So they cosmetologists provide services, facials, haircuts, nail filing. I mean, just things for people who are dying and the people who are caring for them. And I found this organization and I went, I volunteer with them, but I'm not a cosmetologist. I'm not a hairstylist. I just created this, you know, beauty product, but I don't have any of the skills or the license to do any of the work. But I go as a buddy and I support the cosmetologist. So anyway, at the end of the year, or no, in the middle of the year, they have their big annual fundraiser. And this particular year, they had the Manic Panic ladies, Snooki, and I forget her name, but the ladies who really brought colored hair to mainstream. They were being honored at the Beauty Bus Network annual fundraiser. And they brought a lot of people. And one of the people sitting at their table was Dean Banowitz.
Yes.
Dean was brought, and they were up on stage thanking everyone. And I was volunteering at the event, and I heard them say, and the head hairstylist of American Idol, Dean Banowitz, is here. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have heard from people that I have a product that's going to help people save time behind the scenes. Do I find him? Do I introduce myself? What do I do? And I was like, I am going to do it. So I ran up to him and I said, Dean Banowitz? And he said, yes. And I said, I'm Gina Greblo. I created something I think you need to save time behind the scenes. And he's like, girl, I'm starting American Idol next week. We've got our top 12. I need to see these things. So instead of in the past, what I would have done is I would have said, okay, I have his card, but I'm not ready. I don't know what to do. I got to put together a package. What am I going to do? What's my pitch going to be? I'll put it in the mail, blah, blah, blah. Delay. Instead, I went home immediately. I texted him. I emailed him. I put together a package. He texted me back and he said, listen, the key for The Voice is staying with me because they're starting too. And you may want to put a package together for them. So I was like, no way. So then I put 2 packages together. I got in the car. He invited me to come over to his house. I delivered the packages in person, showed him what they were. Then that key, I guess, delivered your box.
Yeah. My key was Megan Herrera.
Amazing.
And she, yes, brought him to work.
Okay. So, wow. Okay. That just gives me the chills because I didn't know that she was the one. Oh my God. She's my angel. So then all of a sudden, I'm on my social media, which was like, I only had 200 followers or something at that point. And all of a sudden I see, oh, somebody tagged me. And it's you doing a video using an unboxing video of UpDo Extensions. And then like the next day you're doing someone's hair with them and you post like 5 videos. I'm like, oh my God, what just happened? You blew me up.
Which, by the way, me doing videos like that was what I was told I needed to do in order to kind of make that momentum start to flow in my life. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, but I knew that I needed to be in front of the camera, putting out content of stuff that had to do with hair. That's all I knew. Is I was like, because I'm a hairstylist. But I also was like, I want to help you because you were so generous with the amount of easy UpDo extensions, and I wanted to help you, and I really loved the product. So I was like, all right, we got to do a video, Megan. Let's do a video. Let's do a video. And so we did.
And it was incredible. And I remember that day specifically, and Jeff was here. And I was like, oh my gosh, you don't even understand. And then like the very next day, Dean used them on 9 of the top 12 finalists. And he continued to use them throughout that season. You were doing the videos and you guys completely blew me up. So what did I learn from that? I learned, okay, I've got to continue taking fearless action. I've got to just, if I get an idea, I've got to run with it. I can't just sit around and think and strategize and plan and,
I think that's so, Gina, that is so important for people to know too. The fearless action that was behind you and me, okay, not knowing the destination.
Right.
And where we are going, but just taking action towards something. We were like, we're just doing it. It felt like just to do it. So I think that's where fearless action, everybody quit talking about it. Quit talking. I want to see you do it.
Right.
Right.
It's so scary. I mean, another, just the fearless action. So I get the focus. So I'd been focused on creating something, but I was scared to death because I didn't know how to really use it. I just knew how it worked for me. I wasn't a hairstylist. I didn't know anything. I don't have a child to like play with their hair, and I don't have great hair to do demonstrations. So this was all so amazing for me. The hard part for me was like the faith part. Like, okay, I know, just putting those aside, I know that I need to have faith that things are going to happen, right? So where I got tripped up a lot of the time was, okay, I take the fearless action and I'm moving forward. I got a lot of positive feedback from my fearless action. But then there were so many hurdles that came up in the process of trying to run the business, right? So like, gosh, I mean, so many things happen when you're like the road for business or even life goes like this. It's not like this. So you have to keep the faith when the road is going like down. And anyway, that was the hardest thing for me. So I think where my time, where I wasn't moving as fast or like grabbing the momentum, was just getting caught up in the curves in the road and the bumps. So you helped me through that as well. And same with Jeff, by helping me just every day.
By the way, Jeff is your long-term boyfriend.
Yeah. Thank you. And he just thinks you're amazing.
And he's wonderful. He's wonderful. He's such a great support for you.
But you guys really helped me figure out, okay, so every single day, don't get caught up in all the details. Figure out what you want to accomplish that day and just get it done no matter what. But having the faith and knowing that things will eventually happen. You just don't know when they're going to happen. And you just have to realize that they will. They just will. And you know what's so crazy? I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but when you're consistently working something, and it may not be the right time for your product or what you're working on, but eventually the timing, there's like the timing happens, and everything that you've worked toward lets you explode at that moment because you've been consistent, because you've built something, because you're ready for the moment that it takes off. And I feel like everything that I had worked on up until that point, I was just kind of ready to meet you. That's where it was. Both of us,
because, so we met, you ignited my dream big, which then all of this came up of a friend asking me, what are your steps right? What are your steps to getting everything that you want? And I sat down and I was like, figure out what you want, focus, action, feel it existing, and faith. And she is a songwriter, and she was like, well, you need an F in front of action, and you have the 5 F words. And I was like, what? Oh my God, you were amazing. Like, how do you think of that? Right? So it's like fearless, of course, because fear stops us in our tracks. So now we started the group, last 90 days of manifestation challenge for 2020, because 2020 has been a shit show for some. It's been transformation for others. It's been, you know, for me, you know, getting super close to my son and my husband, and forming a relationship, even going into his teens, and like all of this happening, right? I mean, 2020 for me has been transformation. And so I want to hear how the 90 days, like what did that do for you?
So before we got on this call this morning, I wrote a list of all the things that I accomplished in the last 90 days, and it's kind of mind blowing. Oh. I've always believed that whatever I say I want, I'll get. And I've got a vision board from like 12 years ago to sort of prove it, because I went back and looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, whatever I put out into the universe, it comes, but I just don't know at what time. And it's time for a new vision board, by the way. But I started with that mindset. So I feel like I was a little bit ahead of the curve, but so when I started doing the daily journaling, that's when things started moving at warp speed, because each morning I would get up and say what I was grateful for. So coming from a grateful place helped me keep my perspective throughout the rest of the day. For instance, I'm in a great relationship, and it's gotten so much better, like you with Eli and Danny. Jeff and my relationship has gotten so much better. And I feel like it's because every day I'm so grateful for it, and I'm like putting my focus towards what else can I do to nurture this relationship. And it's just really important for me. I just want to have a very comfortable and loving home and relationship life, not only with him, but with his kids who are here half the time. So
first of all, yes to the journaling. So crazy how it catapults things. That pen to paper energy, and then starting out with your gratitudes.
It's amazing.
Even if you don't write in your journal and you're like, you forgot, you were busy, you were rushed, and you find yourself in the car going to work or whatever you're headed to, go over your gratitude. Start your day in gratitude, right? So just like, I'll be like, 10 things I'm grateful for right now. And it can be a cup of coffee.
Huge. I mean, it was just huge. I mean, I didn't, and by the way, I didn't do it every single day. I just didn't. But the days that I did, I was much more productive and had a clearer head and felt more at ease. So doing that journaling, I mean, I went back to the first 3 things that I said in the very beginning, and they've all transpired. So I wanted to create and nurture a community to help me grow my business. And I had that in place a little bit, but I had let it go because I hadn't been consistent with my support and my social media. I had let it go for a while. So I got back
challenging. All of that's difficult, but it's like you got back on the horse, as they say, right?
So in the last 90 days, I nurtured my relationships and feel like we now are in sync again. So that was huge because I'd taken some time off. I'm so thankful for that. And the one thing that I know is that you can't do anything alone as fast as moving forward in a team. And I've got strengths and you've got strengths. And when we can work together, I mean, amazing, even more amazing things can happen faster. just, it makes sense. So the journaling helped me focus on what I really wanted. I developed the community. I created a social plan and I stuck to it. So that was posting every day and, you know, keeping up with people that I really knew I wanted to nurture. And then I changed my website. I mean, I couldn't really develop my community of affiliates without having a new website to track all the referrals they were sending. So in the last 90 days, I completely restructured the content of Easy UpDo Extensions website, created an affiliate link, developed the YouTube channel, I found somebody to help me who's amazing. I mean, it was just like, those are just a few things that happened.
It like just flowed, right? It wasn't challenging. It just sort of happened and you went with it.
Completely. And and I was up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, bouncing out of bed to get this stuff done. And Jeff, who gets up early and always has gotten up early, he's like, "What's wrong with you?" He's sleeping in, and I'm up early, you know, just with my tea, writing in my Dream Big journal. But yeah, everything just sort of flowed. I would say that what I really wanted to focus on though was balance, because I feel like once you start working on one thing, you lose another thing. So creating that wheel was really important for me too, like the wheel of where you are in your life. When I created that, it was like, okay, this is good, but my business was completely out of whack. The other things were in line. And now at the end of the 90 days, it really looks like a wheel that could take me places.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing is the wheel she's talking about is in unit 1. It was a wheel of everything in your life. You rated 1 to 10. Okay. How full is your wheel? Or are you kind of like, you know, how's your wheel? How's that ride? But the beautiful thing is when you start manifesting or putting intention into one area of your life, not only does that area blossom, but really your whole life starts to become more abundant. Okay. Even though, you know, you were saying, oh, I felt a little like I was focusing too much over here and you had to balance it. I mean, honestly, I have such a hard time balancing. Like there is not a balance for me. It's like, you know, it tips, right? And it, you know, it's family, it's work, it's, you know, all of this stuff, and it keeps going back and forth, but like everything around it is still being watered and nurtured, you know?
Yeah. I've always had a hard time with the balance, and I have really tried. I mean, that's why I said the first thing was just nurturing my relationship, because that's the most important thing to me. But if usually when I'm working on my business, I'll just get gung-ho on my business and then everything else can wait. I just couldn't do that. So the balance really was what I feel really good about that, because that's one of my biggest challenges.
Yeah. I mean, well, like right now, holiday break, what am I focusing on? I'm focusing on my family, because that's what truly is important. You know, it is the foundation to everything.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, I want to wrap this up because we're coming up on like 25 minutes. Thank you so much for coming into my life, for being a part of this group, for being such a wonderful inspiration for all of these women and people around you and in this group. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much.
I'm so grateful for you.
I'm so grateful for you. And look at what you've done. I mean, by the way, you said in the very beginning that you didn't really have this dream big thing, but you did. You had an Instagram that was called Dream Big. And you used to post a lot of quotes and things and accomplishments that were happening in your life. And you just took that, and look what you've done in just a short amount of time. You wrote a book You wrote a book, and it is a good book. I sat and read it again last night because I wanted to really I wanted to review what's happened. But this is so straightforward. It's such a good guide for like a beginner's guide to just, okay, let's get focused. Let's get on with life and let's do life a little bit differently. And the lessons here are so amazing. So the writing this book, the public speaking you're doing, you've created a community, you're helping make the world a better place. And I mean, look, I'm going along for the ride, girl.
Thank you. And, you know, and like what a perfect time to actually catapult. And, you know, if you haven't been doing the work and you're watching this, it is not too late. We're starting a new year, you know, so take control of you and your intentions. And if you need help, read the book and go into the units and catch up, and let's do this 2021. I mean, COVID's not going away, but the way we pivot and, you know, and continue and, you know, it's all available. Everything that we want is available. So anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I am so grateful for you, and you came on, and if we help one person today to take control and put intention into their life, that's all we can wish for.
I love it.
Everybody, 5 days left of 2020. And yeah. All right. Love you.
Love you.